This meeting is being recorded.
So good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and welcome to our Tuesday meeting, which is the first meeting of the month. Normally we meet in person and we meet the second and fourth Tuesdays of every month. But due to some unforeseen complications that have arisen, well, within the VIC and personally, the executive committee did meet and we decided to, at the last minute last night, send a message to you all that we are meeting online, which actually turned out to be not so bad because some of you are working from home and it's quite convenient to then just go ahead and log in on your computer. So welcome to all of you. As you know, we have some few dates that I'd like you all to put into your calendars. So if you're the type that likes to write things down, maybe go grab a pen and paper. And here we will start with some of the save the dates that are coming this season. We always have an annual Toastmasters party. It's usually at the end of the year. And this time we've had to forego the December party due again to the unforeseen circumstances within the VIC, not being sure if we could come in. And so what we've decided to do is to, in fact, hold our annual party, but it's going to be more of a spring feeling. The date has been reserved for Tuesday, the 29th of March. We have Inez, who's on the planning committee, who's secured the VIC restaurant and will for sure send you all an invite with information, details on pricing, the menu, how to sign up, and of course, in due time that we have enough people to accommodate the room. There is a minimum and of course a maximum. So Inez, I'm going to mute myself. If you would just say just 2 minutes about what you foresee, the numbers of people that we have for the party before you send the email. Go ahead, Inez.
Fellow Toastmasters, we have no guests yet. Yeah, on a guest, soon. We will have a special event, as the president has mentioned, and we are planning for 20 to 25 persons. I will send out the details as Melanie mentioned, and we will ask everybody to pay in advance through our bank account at least 2 weeks ahead of time. Otherwise, it would be very hard to plan. Regarding the menu or the program, as Melanie said, we are putting a very exciting program for you together, and it will be a lot of fun. So I hope to welcome you on the 29th of March to this event. Back to you.
Thank you, Inez. Thank you, Inez. Looking forward to that so we can see each other in person and have a reason to celebrate. I see Nicole's hands up, so before I go on with any more business items, Nicole, would you like to say something?
No, I didn't put my hand up.
Okay.
I can say something.
You can lower it under actions. Let me see if I can lower it for you. I can't lower it for you. Anyway, so let's keep going.
Sorry about that. Okay, sorry.
Nicole, if you go to reactions, you can lower your hand from there.
Okay. I don't know
we
what
are very
happened.
open here. If anyone wants to say anything, I have no problem letting you speak. But let's go on with our business section before we get started for the rest of the program. So I'm not sure if some of you know this already, but we have a special threefold evaluation workshop. Well, I have to let someone in 1 second, admit. That is organized by our very own Nicole, who still has her hand up. So Nicole has been gracious enough to give us a 3-part training session. It's going to be called Enhancing Your Evaluation Skills. The 3 dates, if you want to put them in your calendar, are the 15th of February, which will be on Zoom. We're always going to meet at 12, so a bit earlier than our normal meeting, 12 to 1:15, because Nicole has a packed agenda. And 2 more times, we're going to meet in person in the VIC in the A Tower, our normal room, A0671, the 1st of March and the 15th of March. And why do an evaluation workshop? Well, there's some good reasons. Not only will you be able to deliver high quality evaluations when you're in a Toastmasters meeting, because that's a whole part of giving a speech, you get an evaluation afterwards. In your professional life, you will be an effective team leader. I mean, there's so many instances where you've had to maybe evaluate or assess a colleague's performance. Sometimes we have reverse appraisals at work. If you're in a managing position, you actually have to give a review of your subordinates. So there's many good reasons why, of course, that we will have this workshop, not just for personal reasons, but professional life. But again, Nicole is putting together the whole program for us, and she's going to not only give us this presentation, but she's going to have what I've heard from her. She's going to have it I believe she's mentioned she's going to have it with not only the training part, but there's going to be videos. We're going to have times that we can interact with each other. So it's really an incentive to show up for these training courses. Of course, it's not mandatory. It's not part of the normal Toastmasters meetings. But what we've decided to do is those of you who do participate, you will be receiving a certificate, an actual Toastmasters certificate of participation in this evaluation workshop. So I'm really looking forward to Nicole presenting this for us. And it again will be 3 different sessions. Nicole, I'd like you to take over the mic now. What would you like to say?
Yeah, sorry, I did put my hand up this time. The other point I wanted to stress is that we're going to get very soon into a contest period. So you can either be a contestant, but you can also be a judge. And if you're going to be a judge, you're going to have to evaluate. And in the workshops, we're going to go over that. How do you evaluate as a judge? And in particular, if you're a judge for the evaluation contest, meaning that you're going to have to evaluate evaluators. And that we're going to go over that, how to evaluate an evaluator. So these are the different aspects of evaluation, and we'll go through that with different techniques, and everybody, I hope, will volunteer to participate, because it's going to be not only theory but practice. Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you as well, Nicole, for that extra part that we should take note of. On the same idea of the contest, I should let you know what's going on with our contest. As we discussed last time, we've decided to forgo the actual contest level at our club because it's just very hard to organize. And we're going right to the area contest, which I have the date already. Thanks to Maria Teresa for letting me know. It's going to be Sunday, the 3rd of April. So what we will do as a club is we will put forward someone to give an international speech, and maybe hopefully someone would volunteer after doing Nicole's workshops to be an evaluator, and you actually have a chance to be in the contest as well. So there's the area contest that we look forward to, then comes the division, and then comes the district. So the dates for sure are set for the area contest on the 3rd of April and the division contest, which is the 23rd or 24th of April. More information will definitely come from Maria Teresa. And don't worry about this club level. We're going right to the area. And if you're interested, we even maybe have Sila, who said she would show some interest in giving an international speech. So this looks very good for our club. So I'm quite excited about that we really just, it's very hard to throw together with all the things we have planning with our party this year. And then of course, the evaluation workshop with Nicole. It's best that we just go right ahead and put someone from our club forward, because it shows the interest that they really want to do it anyway. So that completes for today our business section. And with every Toastmasters, we always welcome our guests, even if they've been here 1 or 2 times, because you get 3 times to just come and be a guest before you make a decision to join us or not. And I see one guest already. Shun, I'd like to mute myself and let you just introduce yourself one more time. There's a few people are here that weren't here last time. So Shun, control is yours for now.
Thank you for your introducing me, VIC TM president. I'm Shun Oshita. I'm from Japan and belong to the permanent mission of Japan in Vienna. I'm in charge of IAEA technical cooperation, and I have to talk with many people in the IAEA and related persons. So I want to be a better English speaker, and so I want to get in this club because I get many things from this activities of this club. So, and yeah, that's why I am here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shun. And we're very happy that you decided to join us again for the second time. And hopefully after being with us one more time, you make the decision and want to join. And that would go through, of course, Inez, who is our Vice President of Membership, and Maria Teresa, who's the Vice President of Education, could give you some more information on how to join pathways and all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get our bi-monthly meeting started. And I would like to hand over the control of the meeting to our very seasoned Toastmaster, and without her help as our Vice President of Education, someone who keeps us all on track, Maria Teresa, Toastmaster of the day, the floor is yours. Thank you, Maria Teresa.
Thank you, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. I see a face in there that is a guest today, but has been previously a member. Toastmaster Vonya, would you like to say a few words and mention that you were a Toastmaster and you might come back?
Hi, everybody. This is Voina. Many of you know me. I don't need the introduction, but the one who don't know me, this is my favorite place in Earth, where I get better than yesterday, better than a year before. I'm happy to feel this female energy because the majority are women. Yeah, I'm very excited to be here because I usually at this time I have work meetings. Today I don't, and I'm really, really looking forward to just be here and enjoy. That's all.
Vonya, thank you. That's more than enough. I think that deserves some applause. So, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, a Toastmaster meeting usually has three components: prepared speeches, table topic section, and an evaluation session. But guess what? Today, we don't have any prepared speeches. So it's going to deviate from our normal way of doing things. And by the way, I thank all of you, even if it was at the last minute, for signing up to take roles, because believe it or not, we have a full program. So applause for that. So before we go into the first element, which is now going to be the table topics, I'm going to throw out something that we have never done before. I've seen it done in other clubs, but since we don't have speeches, I thought it might be fun to have a table topic evaluation section. Now, what does that mean? That means that you listen very carefully to the person who answers the question, and then I will be leading a section where I will ask you to evaluate that speaker. You can evaluate them on the basis of the content or on the basis of the style. For example, I really like the way you went into that question. You hit it head on. Ooh, that wasn't a very strong start, was it? I like the logic you demonstrated in your table topic speech. You were wandering all over the place. I couldn't follow you. That ending was really strong. You really made your point. I didn't know when it was at the end. So, again, you have to pay particular attention this time to the speakers for the table topics because I will call on people to evaluate those speakers. But enough of me. It's time to introduce our general evaluator for today's section, and that happens to be our very capable Toastmaster, Nicole.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. I'm so happy to have a full team today, considering that last night there wasn't anybody and that we changed the program very, very late. Now, let me introduce our different members of the evaluation team. First, I have well, there's no evaluator today. Maria Teresa is going to take care of that, but since there's no speech, there's no evaluator for any speech. The counter today is Tatiana. Tatiana, if you can say very, very quickly what your role is. No, Tatiana is not there. Wait a second here.
Tatiana just wrote to me that she won't be able to join today.
Okay, so who would, sorry about that. Who
I could
would
do it.
accept to take the role? Melanie?
Yeah, ballot counter, sure, I can do that.
So Melanie. Okay, Melanie, do you want to explain what you're going to do?
Hey, Melanie, it's a point of order. Excuse me. It's our counter we need.
Oh, our counter. Oh, I thought you said
Counter.
ballot counter.
No,
Our
our counter.
I should be listening to all of you, even myself, for times that you use filler words. In the English language, a filler word would be In German, they always say na und. So depending on where you come from, it's just something when you're lost for the next word that you want to use and you just let your mouth drop. And sometimes you should just stay quiet and not say anything. Think about it and then speak. So that's what I'm going to look out for starting now.
Thank you, Melanie. The next person on my list is the grammarian, Ines.
Yes, fellow Toastmasters, honored guest. As a grammarian, I will overall review the use of the English language, expression used, the way people play with the language, and I also will look at what we can learn from each other, because being a grammarian, it's also a learning experience, or review the grammar being used. I also have a word of the day, and what gave me this idea to use the word game changer. We have a lot of sweeping changes these days, and the explanation of the word game changer is actually an event, idea, or procedure that affects a significant shift in especially the current way of doing or thinking about something. It could be a revitalization, it could be also radical, or it could be a revolutionary way of doing things. The word of the day is game changer.
Would you have a few examples, Ines? Some sentences where it's used, since it's not a very common word?
You hear very often that the digital economy will be a game changer for people in several societies in doing, for example, business, or even the vaccinations which are being used at the speed of light in several countries, or being developed with the speed of light. That is actually a game changer. We have a number of game changers going on.
Okay,
Back to you.
thank you.
Nicole.
Thank you, Ines. Next person, a very important person too, Silas, timekeeper.
Thank you, Nicole. So yeah, time management is very important, especially for online meetings, I guess so. So for table topics, each speaker will have 2 minutes for their table topic speech. And when 1 minute's up, I would raise the green card. When 1 minute and 30 seconds is up is the yellow one. And if you reach 2 minutes, then it would be the red card. So yeah, that would be my role.
Maria Teresa, since we're going to have evaluators today, how much time do you give to the evaluators? The normal time?
The evaluations will have 1 minute. And
So-
Scylla, you don't have to do anything halftime. Just flash, please, the red card at 1 minute. I was going to mention that though, but Nicole, it's a good point.
Okay, good. Okay, so 1 minute for the evaluations at the end of the table topic session. So we're going to have evaluations of the table topic session, but at the end of the table topic session, you will also be able to vote for what you think or who you think was the best table topic speaker. And then the ballot counter, we will count the votes. And the ballot counter is today Pinar. So when you choose, please send your choice or your vote to Pinar in the chat section of your Zoom. Okay. And I think that is my team. So back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nicole, as General Evaluator, filling us in on all these things that are going on. So what's happening next? We're going to be leading into the table topics, but as mentioned, I want everybody to pay particular attention because you will then be called upon to evaluate the table topic speaker. Now, you might be a lot better after Nicole's workshop, but since we need something to fill part of this meeting, I thought it would be appropriate to try something a little bit different. So thank you for giving me that liberty. It's my time now to introduce, and I believe this is the first time you're doing it, our table topics master for today. Again, somebody relatively new to the club, but has been progressing very nicely. I welcome Toastmaster Benjamin to lead us through the table topic session.
Dear Madam Toastmaster of the Day, thank you very much for introducing me. Hi, everyone. Excited to take this role for the first time. I had the chance yesterday to take part for the first time in a Toastmaster board committee. I don't know exactly the name, but we had a chat, as Nicole was saying at the beginning, about Toastmaster contest, which I'm not at all familiar with. The only contact I had with those were YouTube videos of the world champion Toastmaster of 2017. It was very, very impressive. And in general, just this talk about contest made me think that in my life, competition or contest have a big role. I need them, and maybe it's because of 10 years of tennis and athletics competitions. I need the thrill of that. So I would like to orientate today the table topics around competition, around contests. And the first question, which is more general, your feeling about competition. What is your approach to competition? I'm thinking of Wojnia, if you want to jump in. I know that you're a big tennis woman, so maybe you want to say a few words about that. Wojnia, what is your approach to competition?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. Master. Thank you, Ben.
Take a table topic.
Yeah, competition is my second name. I want to totally crash my enemy in tennis. When I was a child, I started tennis at the age of 7. And after every match that I lost, I would cry for 2 hours. And I didn't know, and tears just came out of my face, and I don't know why. Now, 4 months ago, I lost a match and a few tears came out of my face, and I don't know why. I think maybe because the attitude is from the early age, my sense of worth came from winning. And this is how I knew where I get my validation of my sense of worth, by winning match after match, because I loved that game and it just challenged me and kept me on my toes, because you never know what's the next point gonna bring you. But now the attitude to competition has changed because I coach children as well, and I see how they collapse at the face of competition. So the attitude is more keeping the composure, trying to encourage myself to bring the best after each point and focus on each point. However, I've realized that with anger, sometimes I win a lot of points rather than with being calm. That's an attitude that I'm working now to balance the anger and the calm, and how to outsource my anger in winning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vanya. To be honest, I did 8 years of tennis and competition, and I never understood how to control my mental capability when I was just missing a point for a few millimeters. So well done for that. And I really enjoyed your point about you don't know what's going to happen in the next point. To me, this is what also brings competition to push your limits. You never know what's going to happen, so you need always to go further. Second question, which is a double question, so two people would jump on one after the other. The first one I would like to ask Adot. Can you share with us a positive memory you have from a competitive atmosphere? Can be sport-wise or Toastmaster contest, something positive that the competition atmosphere brought at that moment. Adot.
Fellow Toastmasters, Table Topics Master. A positive memory from a competitive situation. I am a bit like Vanya, been playing sports since I was 9 years old or something. And I played team sports most of the time. And in team sports, you're not the only person responsible for the result. So you have to depend on the other team players to play their part well. And if they're suffering, for whatever reason, they're in the wrong place, whatever, take that space and hope someone will take your space. And to me, that's a very positive experience, because it means that you can play your best, but you're not always the best. And if you're in a team, the team will take care of the parts that you perhaps missed. Sometimes teammates would lose it and would just be nasty. That's part of the game too. So you learn a lot of things in team games. I also played tennis, and I ended up stopping because I couldn't find someone to play with. Tennis needs somebody on the other side of the net. A team game needs another team on the other side, but you can practice as a group. And when you practice as a group, you develop a sense of sharing. And in that sharing, you develop a sense of shared strength and collective power. Those are all, to me, very positive aspects of group games. And they helped both my tennis. In fact, I eventually ended up playing squash. And in squash, I rarely lost my temper. I would go for everything. I never stopped going for it. And I knew if I go for it, I'm more likely to get it than not to get it. If I don't, it's okay. There'll be another point. And that's my positive experience.
Thank you very much, Adot. Very interesting that, yeah, the team spirit can be enhanced by a competition atmosphere. It is actually something that I never had the experience because I did tennis and athletics, and I wish one day I will have this team spirit. Okay, next question, very similar, that I would like to give to Shun, if you're okay with that. The same question, but negative. Can you share with us a negative memory you have from a competitive atmosphere? Shun, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmasters. My experience about the negative aspects of the competitiveness is It is very difficult question, but in my experience in my university of graduate school of law, in my graduate school of law, three people belong to the same belongs to the same professor of international law, and we, including me, we talked about international law more and more times, but from the viewpoint of academics, whose function is finding the truth of this world, some kind of aspects of competitiveness makes the process worse, because the truth is not related to the competition. One person try to say better words, and the other person try to claim another words, but it is not. It can be only competitiveness, not finding the truth. So that's my opinion of the negative aspects of the competition.
Thank you, Shun. Yeah, competitiveness. I did scientific studies, and I was hearing a lot of PhD students in the same laboratory, and they all have this competition to write papers, and this can enhance more work from all the people in the laboratory, but also kind of create weird atmosphere that who's the first going to write a paper or not. So thank you. The next question is a bit related to this topic, and I would like to ask Lily for this one. Do you think competition is necessary to select the best candidates? I don't know, university-wise, let's say, or can you think of another selection process? So, is competition necessary to select the best candidates? Lily, the floor is yours.
Very interesting question. I would suppose that competition is necessary if you want to select the best candidates. Though when I think of competition and raising children, and even a personal development course that I'm doing at the moment, where Bob Proctor, who just recently died, talks about experts don't compete, they create. And he named a couple of experts, I think an expert golfer, and he mentions that you should compete against yourself and become the best version of yourself by creating something new. So certainly I can imagine in university, or if you have certain very, very specific criteria, then you would need to set up a competition where you can sift out those particular characteristics. But I remember when I was sitting for my matriculation exams in high school, and I had a really bad fever and terrible relationship with my mother, and felt totally misunderstood by the examiner who was supervising the examination. I came with my thermos can full of herbal tea, and I was not permitted to take it into the examination room. So I felt unfairly treated, and that it was not actually a fair competition, and that my qualifications were not being fairly tested. So I would say it always depends on the particular situation, and you need to be very careful about the criteria, the selection criteria that you are testing, that you can really test for those characteristics that you're looking for. Like job applications also, same thing.
Thank you very much, Lily, for this intervention. I just wrote down this compete with yourself and expert don't compete, they create. Very interesting quotes. And I guess this reminds me of some educational systems, I can't remember in which country, where they just removed the rating system and now they just have comments, which avoid having this competition between all the pupils. I would like to give the last two questions more around Toastmaster contest, and I would like to ask our experts in that field, Maria Teresa and Nicole. So first, Maria Teresa, it's more a presentation, but what the contest bring to the Toastmaster experience?
Well, I only can say if you're nervous in a Toastmaster meeting at the club level, if you move up to the area or the division or the district, the nerves start going out of control. There's a certain kind of adrenaline that's rushing in your body because you realize, as I think somebody's already said, in reality, you're competing against yourself. But it certainly is a little bit scary, but going outside of your comfort zone is not such a bad idea. I mean, think of all these instances where we thought, I can't do that, not me, not possible, I'm not capable. Example, I never thought I would learn German. And after so many years in this country, it's still not 100%. I refer to myself as the person who speaks German fließend falsch. But I did it. Even though I don't have talent, I think, with languages. Anyway, back to a contest. You also get to meet other people from different clubs. You get to network. You get to see that Toastmasters is not just about us. This is a huge community. And within that community, you can strike up friendships and get to know people really well. Again, a contest I recommend to everybody, even if you're not competing. Back in the old days when we had them in person, we would send a delegation to root for our representative. Of course, now with Zoom, we can't do that. In any event, club competitions are positive. Otherwise, in this club, we're not competitive. And I think a competition gives us an opportunity, as I said before, go outside of the comfort zone. Mr. Topics Master?
Thank you very much, Maria Teresa. Very interesting. I completely understand what you say about going at a district level is even more out of your comfort zone because it's been not that long that I'm here, but I feel more and more comfortable here to give a speech. But I guess when you enter a higher level, you're really even more out of your comfort zone. And friendships also at the district level should be very interesting. Last question would be for my mentor, Nicole. Can you share with us your best experience you had in a Toastmaster contest? What was your role? When was it? And what is your best experience? Why is it your best experience? Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin, my mentee, for that question. Participating in a contest is always a challenge. It has its good points and its bad points, its good sides and its bad sides. I competed in several contests, Toastmasters contests, but there's one I remember particularly well, and that is the one where I was a contestant with a speech. I had rehearsed the speech, I don't know how many times, but when I was in the room and I was about to go on stage, I felt like quitting. I felt like going back home. I didn't want to give the speech. I thought I will forget everything. I won't remember. Why did I go up that stage? It was because in the room, there were, I don't remember exactly, but 6 or 7 people from my club. And I could not let them down. They were there, they'd come for me. They were in the first rows. They were expecting me to represent the club, and there was no way I could quit. So I went up stage, and mind you, The minute I was on that stage, and people who act, they know the feeling, stage fright. The minute I was on the stage, everything came back. And I had rehearsed the speech so much that it was in me, it was part of me. And I could even talk about other things, put things in the speech that were kind of meant to have more contact with the public. It was like a miracle. And this is why I tell you, if you think you can't make it, it's not true. You can make it. If you rehearse, if you make the speech part of you, you can make it, and you'll have the club behind you. So that was a good experience for me. And believe me, it will be a good experience for you. It has far more advantages than disadvantages. Back to you, Mr. Topic Master.
Beautiful. This makes me want to go for district level competition. And what you just say reminded me of what we were talking at the beginning with ADOT, actually, that in the end, district level contest with Toastmaster is more about team sport. And then you have your team there and everybody's supporting each other for this contest. Thank you very much. I would like to say thank you to each one of you that participated in this table topic. I would now give the floor to the Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster of the day, Maria Teresa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Benjamin. I think a very successful debut. And maybe you were a little bit influenced by the Olympics, which I am following, staying up at all hours of the night to watch figure skating at 3 o'clock in the morning because I love the sport.
True.
I'm not going to evaluate as such right now, except to make a comment. When you get a question, don't say thank you. We all know you're playing for time. Go straight into your answer. So Nicole, you've already spoken, but I'm not going to let you off the hook. You're going to be our facilitator for the evaluation workshops. So I give you your first assignment here. Could you please evaluate the table topic speech of Voina?
I'm not going to say thank you for that, Maria Teresa.
Bravo, bravo.
So, Voina, I have 1 minute there. It's not a lot. Voina, I like the fact that you said the competition is my second name. I also like the fact that you presented competition, the good sides of competition, that you like competition, but you also admitted that sometimes you lost. And I like that. The only thing I will have to say, and that's valid for everybody, including for me, mind you, is that you have 10 or 20 seconds or 30 maybe at the beginning to think. So take advantage of those 10 or 15 seconds that you have to think about the question before you start, and then you don't hesitate. And something that is valid for Voina, but is valid for a lot of other speakers, is your conclusion was a bit abrupt. Table topic is a little bit like a speech. Evaluation is also a little bit like a speech. So you have to have an introduction, body, and conclusion. But I know it's very difficult because we have only a few minutes and we don't know what's coming at us. But well done, because I like the way you approached the question. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nicole. You see, I can say thank you because she delivered something to us. I can say thank you. So next person. I now would like to ask Toastmaster Melanie to give her evaluation of Toastmaster Adot's table topic speech. Toastmaster Melanie.
Evaluating someone like Adot comes actually as a joy, because when I hear her speak, I am fully concentrated on her. She has a very deep, distinct voice. She grabs the audience's attention, and that's how she started. She started out with what a team is, the sharing, and how this sharing improves a strength. I love that. She said it's a collective power. Adot, when you speak like that, when you use these lines that motivate, encourage, and empower your audience, it really keeps us concentrated on the theme that you're talking about. You do it every time, and this is what I really appreciate. You give a dynamite table topic. I've heard you give a story before, you gave a speech. So I'm looking forward to hear more and more from you. You started off by saying, you know, the team experience and how it's a positive experience. You ended on a good note. So as far as I'm concerned, you killed it with the table topics today. Great job.
Thank you, Toastmaster Melanie. The next. Scylla, you were supposed to give a speech today, and I understand you didn't feel prepared. So we, of course, you know, are never that strict in the club, but we do look forward to hearing it in the very near future. So now it's your turn to evaluate Toastmaster Shun. Toastmaster Scylla.
So thank you for trying the table topic, Shun. I think this is an exciting moment that we all have come across. Table topics is exciting because it's hard to make some points within 2 minutes, right? And so we basically associate it with our personal experience. So thanks for sharing your personal experiences, the one that you remember the most. I think you were trying to bring out the point that you had when you had that lecture, that somehow, it shouldn't bring in the competitive element in it, if I get it correctly. So I think you do have some points that you want to make through, this recount of your personal experience. And so if I might, I would suggest you next time to share with us something that is personal to you and go straight to the point that you want to talk about. Because after all, we have only very limited time for table topic speech. And that's the end of my evaluation too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Scylla. So Ben, although you are table topics master, I'm going to ask you now to evaluate the table topic speech of Lily. Toastmaster Ben.
Lily, I found it very, very interesting. I mean, I said a bit before with the 2 quotes I have now on my paper: experts don't compete, they create, and compete with yourself. I think I really enjoyed this general approach you gave at the beginning of competition. Is it necessary or not? And then, if I remember well, you went more into a personal example of yourself facing an exam and you were sick, if I'm correct. So I really enjoyed these 2 parts of your speech, and I think time-wise you were quite good. So not that much to say. I really enjoyed your speech and your voice, always very clear. Thank you very much, Lily.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ben. And now, because she knows me better, and maybe she's going to give me a certain kind of bias, I'm going to ask Toastmaster Voinia to evaluate my table topic speech. Toastmaster Voinia, the floor is yours.
Dear Toastmaster, fellow guests, Maria Teresa, as always, you have this self-expression that is your most unique part of you. And to achieve that self-expression and bring it to Toastmaster and table topic and evaluation, it requires to be a whole as a person. And I think in your self-expression, you excel. Your personality, nothing, the liberty that you have and the liberty that you had today supported your self-expression even more, and that doesn't inhibit your personality. So this is the part that I love the most, because I enjoy you bringing your authentic power, your authentic self. The evaluation was great. You're always a shark. You're always checking for mistakes and and good and positive qualities, attitudes, expression. That as well a very good quality, and it's inspiring because when you see a game changer, you see someone who is so vibrant on top of the Toastmaster game, for me is inspiring. That's the way I want to show myself to the world. And when I see that in you, for me, that's a game changer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vornia. I'm inviting you for a coffee in the very near future. I'll never forget that time we were sitting. I never forget that time we were sitting in the coffee house for several hours and thoroughly enjoying each other's company. So last but not least, I'd like Toastmaster Adot to evaluate Toastmaster Nicole's speech. Toastmaster Adot.
Fellow Toastmasters evaluation. Nicole, I have a feeling, despite excellent pitch, despite good voice, that you forgot one of your best pieces of advice: to stop and think for a couple of seconds before you start. That said, it was an excellent story and a motivational one. And sometimes the content of the speech is more important than the delivery of it. And I think you succeeded there today. At least I felt motivated to step on the stage once more. One of the things I'm always scared of is that I have to travel out of my country to go to another country to make a speech that I've only made within, a very small group of people. So you succeeded with the object of the speech. I think all of us need to practice structuring, and that's the importance about this thinking moment, because all of us, I know I did do it too. If you don't think about where to start, where to middle, and how to close, which is then you end up closing abruptly. I've done that 100 times. And my way of doing it now is I do try and use that first sound that comes out of my mouth to repeat what I'm supposed to be answering. And that helps me make the connections. So I hope that's something we can take with us. And Nicole would have benefited hugely from that. Back to you, Madam Toast.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adot, and thank you to all of our Table Topics evaluators. It was a game-changing session. It was a first. Maybe we try this again after Nicole's workshop. Will be just that much better. Ben, I loved your questions. I thought they were not impossible. You were very engaging. You put a lot of thought into that, and I think we should again give you another round of applause. So now it's time to hear from the real general evaluator for today's meeting, her impressions of what we did right, what we did wrong, but more importantly, what we could do better. Toastmaster Nicole.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. What I will do first, I will give the floor back to the different members of my team to tell us what they spotted, the good points, the not so good points, and I will start with the grammarian, Ines. What do you have to say about this game-changing session?
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, yes, it was a real game-changing session. And the word game-changing, changer, has been used for almost 5 times. Benjamin, I would like to suggest to you to use a very simple word sometimes. For example, you did a great job to really set the stage for the theme, and suddenly you said, for example, I would like to orientate the Toastmasters, the table topic session, into something which has to do with competition. In fact, you could have very simplified you could be very simply said, I want to focus the table topic session, which is, easier. You also are using then less words. Overall, I think from my notes, which I made very detailed notes. It was a very good session in terms of the use of the English language, also the way you all played with the language, very sophisticated sometimes, and congratulations. I would like to make a couple of very concrete suggestions. When we are talking about competing, I was not sure about it. Is it competing to compete with or to compete against? So very often this was used in a different setting, and I guess that you can use both, unless somebody else can correct me on that. I would also suggest that when we are being given, for example, the issue of competition, and we really see that some of you can play with it tremendously in a very creative manner, and you and Lily, for example, turned very quickly to the issue of competition with against yourself. I'm competing, you said, against myself to become somebody new. I thought it was really very well put, and I like that because you took the issue of competition or to compete more in a direction of I'm competing, I would like to become better in many ways. And I would like to give the crown, the grammarian crown, to you for today.
To Lily then.
To Lily, yes. I did not see many other issues which attracted my attention. Two things, sorry. I apologize, Nicole. Nicole wants to have the club behind her in a competition. I guess that one could say, I would like to have the full support of my club when I'm competing on behalf of the club. Just a suggestion. Another issue is the expression that, especially in the beginning, Nicole said, we were very late in changing the program. In fact, it was a very positive issue, and I would literally say we were able to change the program in time. Because when we're saying we were very late, again, we were very late. We were not signing up, it's a little bit of a punishing idea. I would really go more in the direction of, in spite of everything, yes, we were able to sign up on time. And I would like to hand control of the meeting back to you, Toastmaster Nicole, as the general evaluator.
Thank you, Ines. But I suppose that what I did was I didn't make a grammatical mistake though by saying that.
No, absolutely not.
The other person I would like to call now is our counter, Melanie. How many and filling words did we use today?
Thank you, Toastmaster Nicole, our general evaluator today. The filler words were not so bad. Ben, I have to start with you because you had one of the biggest roles today doing the table topics, and unfortunately, you had the most. You had 10. Then we go down to Vanya, who only had 5, not so bad. Shun had 2. Lily and Maria Teresa exceptionally had none. Nicole, you had 2. Sila 1 and Inez just now 2. So otherwise, I'm sure I had plenty too. I can feel it.
Thank you, Melanie. I would like now to ask Sila how we did with time.
Yes, a very short report for the time. All of us, we love to speak during the table topics. Since most people speak over 2 minutes, which is fine. I think the maximum that one can speak is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Shun spoke about 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Adot 2 minutes 14 seconds. Nicole 2 minutes 13 seconds. Then Vanya 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Lily 2 minutes and 1 second. So Maria Teresa is 1 minute and 50 seconds. And that's my report. And for the evaluation, I think most of us spoke over 1 minute, but I guess that's fine. Thank you.
It's not bad because an evaluation, we usually have more time than that. So to manage to wrap it up in 1 minute is not so bad, even if we went a little bit over that. Now, before I ask Pinar to give us the results about the ballots, I would like myself to give you my impression about the meeting today. I must say that I was very pleased, although we were late in changing the schedule and the way we held the meeting. We started on time, thanks to Melanie, who is always very punctual. We had 14 participants, and I think that was very good, despite the fact that it was announced quite late. We had a very good word of the day, game changer. I don't know how many times it was used. You didn't say, Ines, but I saw it used 5 times. Okay, 5 times were fine, no? For such a complicated word in a way. Well, not complicated, but not so usual. I think that Benjamin did very well in its role as table topics. So I would like to congratulate him, not because he's my mentee, but because he's rather new and he's taking roles, and not just grammarian or just ballot counters, but more important roles. Like I know you took the role of evaluator at one point, today table topics. So the next thing you have to do is to compete, you know, compete one way or the other. Of course, the bad point is that we didn't have a speech, but the lack of speech was really compensated by this game-changing session of evaluations. And this what I would like to talk about for just 1 minute is evaluation, and we're going to hear more about that in the workshops. Is evaluation is a speech. It's like table topic is a speech. So table topic like evaluation has to have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. I know it's difficult, but we should not end abruptly in table topics. You have to think of a conclusion to wrap it up. And most of us did not do that. And you have to have an introduction. The introduction might be to repeat the question. And Adam was right there. We have, I don't remember exactly how much time, but we have like 15 or something seconds to think about what we're going to say. And the chronometer will not start before we say our first word. And if you compete, that's very important to know. And Scylla is, yeah, but Scylla knows because she competed last year. For evaluations, we're going to go over that in the workshop, but for the ones among you who are new, one of the methods of doing an evaluation is the sandwich method. Some of you used it, and that is that you give some of the bad points, or you give some of the good points. No, you start with the bad points, and then you start with the good points, excuse me. You start with the good points, you then go with the bad points, because you have to finish with the good points, because you have to finish your evaluation on a positive note that the person has to go away with. The other thing is the conclusion in an evaluation is as important as a conclusion in a speech. And that is that you have to wrap it up. You have to give some advice and kind of repeat what you've said and go further. Evaluation is a tricky, I think, is a tricky exercise. Most of us did well today, but we'll have to go more into that if you want to go into a competition, because there everything counts. Your background, the way you speak, everything, and time. But you'll have more time than what we did today. And I think we did very well. And again, thank you, Maria Teresa, for coming forward with that proposal at the last minute. But I think it was very good indeed. And with that, I would like to ask Pinar, who won the table topic session.
Dear Madam Toastmaster, I would like to announce that the winner is today, Edat. Congratulations, Edat.
Thank you, Pinar. So people who, we don't have ribbons when we're on Zoom, but I think we're going to have a pile of ribbons that we're going to distribute once we see each other again. In the meantime, I give the floor back to Maria Teresa, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nicole. You know, yesterday evening when I looked at the agenda, I was fearing today's meeting. I'm not fearing it now. It worked out. But thanks to each and every one of you. And I must say, I think we also did a lot of promotion for contests and also promotion for Nicole's workshop. So I'd like to remind you that the first workshop is scheduled for a week from today. You will be receiving some information about that, probably tomorrow morning. And I just love the table topics. I find out so much about you as individuals. It's fascinating. It's just as good as any icebreaker. So enough of me. We're going to exceptionally finish on time today. So I return control of the meeting to our presiding officer and president, Toastmaster Melanie.
Thank you, Maria Teresa. You did an outstanding job today as our Toastmaster of the day. And like you said, even though you were a bit discouraged last night, it all turned out for the best. We all got a chance to speak today. And I think that's what makes this meeting so exciting. And I always want to leave you with something that maybe will motivate you during your day before we close up. And of course, I have to have the guests say something. I won't get credit for this because Nicole, you've already given the amount of 5 people using the word game changer. But I have to tell you, Game Changers is one of my most favorite books. It was given to me last year from a very, very good friend of mine. And the author is Dave Asprey. I have it in front of me because I read it completely through and then I decided to listen to it on Audible. And it says Game Changers, what leaders, innovators, and mavericks do to win at life. It is one of the best books. If you want to go out there and get it, especially you young people, Ben, and those just starting out in your
Point of order. You're doing game changing also when you're an oldie.
Yeah, true. I read this, that's why I read it and I listened to it now twice. It's one of my favorite books. He goes chapter by chapter and he is a New York Times bestselling author. He has this Bulletproof Coffee and he has a podcast. So Game Changers, dynamite book for all of you. So on that note, let me close our business section one more time today, reminding you 29th of March will be our annual Toastmasters party, our 3-fold evaluation workshop starting again 15th of February, 1st and 15th of March in person. Area contests are going to be 3rd of April. We're going to put someone forward. And before we close, I'd like Shun just to say something to us. And I want, of course, Vanya to say something to us. I'm going to mute myself. Shun, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Today's Toastmaster Club is very fun for me. All of your speech is very impressive, and I want to be like you. And I decided to a member of this club because I want to participate in the Toastmaster annual party. Yeah, that is one of my reasons, and I want to be a good English speaker and more confident in myself. So I would like to participate in this club more intensely, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with you as a member of this club. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shun. We're looking forward to welcome you as a full-fledged member. Nicole will be in touch with you shortly. And Vanya, we can't close our meeting without having a couple words from you. Where are you? What are you doing? Are you coming back? Let us know.
Sure, thank you. It feels great to be back. It feels great to look at all of you. I look at you, and with all of you, I have a story. You mean something to me. all of you and each of you have said something to me that mattered in terms of becoming better in Toastmasters. So it feels great to be back. And I wanted to say something else as well. Game changers. I know we look at the world and we think, oh, Obama or Michelle Obama, game changers. In Toastmaster, many of you are game changers of Toastmasters with the way you show up, the way the vibration you show at the meetings. It's a game changer. That's being a game changer. Also, I am here in Vienna, and I can't wait to join the club. As I said, because I look around and I see people that mean something to me, and I have a story. Yeah.
Thank you, Vanya. It's so great to see you. And to all of you, stay safe, stay well. I want to share that I'm COVID positive, but I feel great. It's the second time, and I've had 3 vaccinations. So this darn virus does not know any limitations. So take care of yourselves, and hopefully we will be in person on the we'll be together on the 1st of March, if we're allowed, for Nicole's training, and then the second Tuesday, which would be our first Tuesday of the month to meet. Maria Teresa, the floor is yours, and then we'll close the meeting.
Thank you. Just 2 quick comments. I think accidentally you said people should contact Nicole. Ines is our membership vice president. Sean, please get in touch with Ines. And Vonya, please come back. You don't have to pay the new member fee. You will be reinstated. Okay, so you're saving money there, okay?
Oh, thank you.
All right, all the best, and be in contact with Ines.
Okay, I will do that.
We are in contact. Sean, thank you.
Everyone, enjoy your afternoon. I'm going to stop the recording now. All the best.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank